The F-22 Raptor was designed as an air superiority fighter. It was built to outperform every other fighter jet in the world. However, the aircraft was born at the wrong time. When it entered service, the United States had no rival with comparable air power. As a result, F-22 production was cut. The production facilities were even shut down. Because of these cuts, the cost per unit became extremely high. The closure of the production line also meant the F-22 could not easily adapt to the latest technological advancements. When new competitors eventually emerged, some of the F-22's technology had already become outdated. The last F-22 rolled out of the hangar in December 2011. This means the newest aircraft today is already over 15 years old, while some are more than 28 years old. In this video, we will discuss the F-22 Raptor fighter jet. The initial idea for the F-22 dates back to the early 1980s. In 1981, the United States Air Force identified the need for an advanced tactical fighter to replace the F-15 and F-16. This was driven by growing threats, particularly the development of the Sukhoi Su-27 and MiG-29 by the Soviet Union. After several years of study, in 1985 a request for proposal was issued, emphasizing stealth and supercruise capabilities. An RFP is essentially an invitation for companies to submit proposals to build the aircraft. Out of 7 companies that applied, 2 designs were selected to compete: the YF-22 and the YF-23. The YF-22 was developed by Lockheed, Boeing, and General Dynamics, while the YF-23 was developed by Northrop and McDonnell Douglas. The YF-22 made its first flight on September 29, 1990, while the YF-23 flew earlier on August 27, 1990. After a series of evaluations, on April 21, 1991, the United States Air Force announced the YF-22, built by Lockheed's team, as the winner. Although the YF-23 had advantages in speed and stealth, the YF-22 offered better maneuverability and lower production costs. The YF-22 was then developed into the F-22. The F-22 achieved initial operational capability in 2005 and officially entered service with the U.S. Air Force in 2007. During its prototype phase as the YF-22, the aircraft was initially named Lightning II. Later, as the F-22, it was officially given the name Raptor. Today, the word Raptor might remind people of the Velociraptor dinosaur, but in this context, it refers to a bird of prey. As a bird of prey, the F-22 is equipped with the capabilities and technology to defeat any aircraft of its time in the air. Its slogan is, "First look, first shot, first kill." This means the F-22 can detect enemy aircraft from long distances before being detected itself, engage first, and destroy the target before the enemy even realizes what happened. To detect enemies first, the F-22 is equipped with the AN/APG-77 radar, which was specifically designed for the aircraft. This radar uses Active Electronically Scanned Array, or AESA technology. It has a field of view of 120 degrees, with an operational range of around 160 kilometers. Other sources state that it can detect a 1 square meter object at distances of up to 241 kilometers. This capability surpassed the radar systems of other fighter jets at the time. For example, the Sukhoi Su-27 could only track fighter-sized targets at around 100 kilometers. In addition, to further widen the detection gap, the F-22 is also equipped with stealth capabilities. The aircraft is designed with geometric shaping that reflects radar waves away from enemy radar antennas. Moreover, the reflected radar signals are extremely small because the F-22's outer surface is coated with special radar-absorbing materials. This results in a very small radar signature. This radar signature is measured as radar cross-section in square meters. For comparison, early variants of the F-16 have an RCS of about 5 square meters, the Sukhoi Su-27 around 15 square meters, and the Sukhoi Su-35 about 3 square meters. In contrast, the F-22 has an RCS of only 0.001 square meters. This means enemy aircraft must be at a very close distance, just a few kilometers, for their radar to detect the F-22. As a result, the F-22 has a significant time advantage to engage and shoot down enemy aircraft from the moment it detects them until close range. To eliminate targets at long distances, the F-22 is equipped with long-range missiles. Its primary weapon is the AIM-120D AMRAAM, which has a range of about 160 kilometers. These AMRAAM missiles are carried internally in the main weapon bay, which can hold up to 6 missiles. In addition to long-range missiles, the F-22 also carries the AIM-9 Sidewinder for close-range combat, mounted in side weapon bays. Although it is designed primarily for beyond visual range engagements, the F-22 still maintains strong dogfighting capabilities. With a relaxed stability aerodynamic design, thrust vectoring nozzles, and powerful engines, the F-22 has exceptional maneuverability and can perform sharp, aggressive turns. Another key capability is supercruise, the ability to fly at supersonic speeds without using afterburners. The F-22 can supercruise at around Mach 1.8 at altitude, while its maximum speed with afterburners reaches Mach 2.25. Another advantage is its high operational ceiling. The F-22 can fly at altitudes of up to 20 kilometers, higher than most other fighter jets. For comparison, aircraft like the F-15 and F-16 can reach around 18 kilometers, while the F-35 has a maximum altitude of about 15 kilometers. This is why the F-22 was used to shoot down a Chinese high-altitude balloon over the United States, as it was one of the few aircraft capable of operating close to that altitude. However, the F-22 entered service at the wrong time. When the United States began operating the F-22, it had no rival with comparable air power. Russia's fighter technology was still recovering after the collapse of the Soviet Union, while China was also far behind in fighter jet technology at the time. During the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, aircraft like the A-10 and Apache helicopters proved far more useful than highly advanced air superiority fighters. As a result, the need for a sophisticated aircraft like the F-22 was no longer a top priority. This led to significant budget cuts for the program. Initially, the United States planned to procure 750 F-22s. This number was reduced multiple times until it was cut down to just 187 operational aircraft plus 8 test units. Of those 187, only around 150 are considered combat-ready. More critically, the F-22 production line has already been shut down. Although the production equipment and technical documentation have been preserved in case production is ever restarted, the cost of doing so would be extremely high. It is estimated that restarting production to build 75 additional aircraft would raise the unit cost to around $227 million per jet, enough to purchase nearly 3 F-35s. Additionally, the long gap since production ended means that many of the original engineers and workers involved in building the F-22 are no longer available, either due to retirement or moving to other companies. This would require training a new workforce, further increasing both cost and time. Because of these factors, in 2017, the United States Air Force reported to Congress that it had no plans to restart F-22 production, citing high costs and inefficiency. As a result, today's F-22 fleet remains largely tied to early 2000s technology. Some of its sensors and electronic systems are now considered outdated. While the F-22 still excels in speed, altitude, and maneuverability, it lags behind the F-35 in terms of radar, sensor systems, and avionics sophistication. Upgrade efforts have certainly been carried out. Some of the upgrades implemented on the F-22 include the addition of an advanced infrared search and track system, improved communication systems, data link upgrades, and more. However, these upgrades face significant challenges due to the shutdown of the production line. This situation is very different from aircraft like the F-16 or F-15. Although they were introduced in the 1970s, their production lines are still active today. Major upgrades, such as installing a distributed aperture system similar to the one used on the F-35, are extremely difficult for the F-22, as they would require a complete overhaul of the aircraft's electronic configuration. This is because, during the design phase of the F-22, it did not adopt an open modular architecture. As a result, upgrades cannot be done by simply replacing individual components. They often require modifying the entire system. These upgrade efforts are also constrained by budget limitations, as the United States prefers to allocate more funding toward the newer F-35 program. Although the F-22 was once the most advanced fighter jet in the world, its airframe is now around 28 years old. In current operations, the aircraft faces several challenges. One of the key issues is the lack of compatibility in communication and data sharing systems. This is because the U.S. Air Force did not include the F-22 in the Advanced Battle Management System upgrade program. As a result, the F-22 cannot seamlessly share data or communicate directly with other aircraft, such as the F-35. The F-22 is like a legendary warrior who lived in an era without worthy opponents. By the time new challengers emerged, it had already grown old. Yet, the Raptor seems unwilling to fade away. Although there have been discussions about retiring the F-22, the decision remains under debate. For now, the F-22 Raptor is expected to remain in service until at least 2030, when it is planned to be replaced by aircraft from the Next Generation Air Dominance program.